Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Tampa Honda, and of course, if I'm at Tampa Honda, we got another great Honda product. This is a 2019 Honda Accord. Now, I know that a lot of you are saying, well, didn't you do the Sport already? This is the 1.5 liter turbocharged Sport. That really is the big question of this video is, when it comes to the Accord Sport 1.5 liter turbo, is this the best bang for the buck, where you're going to get some performance, but you're also going to get that extra styling and features on the inside? Let's talk a little bit though about Accord history. Honda Accord's been around since 1976, if you could believe that. The first year they sold over 18,000 examples of that model. Last year though, 2018, they sold over 290,000 examples of the Honda Accord. So obviously Honda Accord is very, very popular. Main competitor is going to be that Toyota Camry. Real big debate on who's got the better styling, who's got the better features, who's got the better performance. But why don't we go ahead, dive into this 2019 Honda Accord Sport and see what you guys think. So right off the bat, I love what Honda has done with the headlight styling. I love the housing. I also think it's super smart, gives us some extra style to push the housing into the nose. You can see the actual depth of where the headlight housing is and where the end of the front fascia is. You got some gloss black, some black chrome, and then these areas down here are spot on the money. I really think it's smart to take those fog lamps integrated in here. It doesn't look like a fake vent. It's supposed to be a vent. What it does is it houses the fog lamps, and then it's going to channel air into those side air curtains. Little bit of a lower lip extension, and that's going to be my zonk. I love the way this looks. I wish they would have brought something into the front center area, a little lower lip spoiler, because this is the Sport. You can see more gloss black. This little guy right here, this is your Honda Sensing. So in here is all the technology that for lane keep assist and all that kind of stuff, all housed directly in there. This open grill area, also behind there is the intercooler for the turbocharged engine. Now, as we go up onto the hood, I love the body lines. You got two in the center here, gives a nice rise to the center of the hood, and then you have your peaks on each corner. Gives you a perfect line of sight out the front window as you're piloting this Honda Accord down the road. Now, as we come around the bend, these Sport wheels are amazing, and many of you have told me this is actually the most stolen wheel right now in the United States, and I can see why. It's a really attractive wheel, gloss black, brushed aluminum, 19-inch wheel, 235 on the width, and a 40 series sidewall. Looks great in this San Marino red. Really pops perfect. Now, as we go down the side, you can see the body lines, very, very nicely done. You got the San Marino red spilled onto the mirrors. My only zonk here is there's no actual turn signal built into the mirror. I wish it would have something like that. As we go down the roof line, I'm not really the biggest fan of sunroofs, so this one doesn't have a sunroof, no big deal. Little bit of chrome on the top, flat black, and some gloss in the center here. I like the way they color match the door handles to the rest of the car, and also very nicely done with this lower body line, the way it kind of creeps up there behind the front wheel and then comes and tapers back to the rear wheel. Very nicely done. And also this quarter window, great shape, and I think it's so smart the way they took the chrome trim and kind of extended it past the mirror. Now, as we get to the back, here's another sore spot. Some people love it, some people hate it. First off, I love the trunk lid spoiler. These guys here, the stapler taillights, you know what? They're growing on me, but still, I wish they could have done something different with this part here. Maybe just cover it up all the way. It would have looked a little bit better. You got your Sport badge, and then you're gonna have two exhaust openings. Now, my only problem is that they are aesthetic because they're not actually connected to the tailpipe. The tailpipe is right there. This is just for looks. I wish they would just connect. If it's here, connect it. It's open. But the rest of it, very, very smart looking, very clean, very crisp. Why don't we go ahead, pop the hood, and see what we're talking about power-wise in this Sport. All right, guys, hood is popped on this Accord Sport. That is that 1.5 liter turbocharged engine. If you're wondering what kind of power we're looking at, it's a nice balance. 192 horsepower, 192 pound-feet of torque. This you can have option with a 6-speed manual or the CVT. This particular one is the CVT transmission. The car weighs about 3,200 pounds. If you want to know about How fast is it? 0 to 60 in about 7.2 seconds, quarter mile in 15.5 at 92 miles an hour. It has a top speed of 127 miles an hour, but the best part is gonna be MPGs. 24 in the city, 35 on the highway. What I like about the engine compartment is that there's no plastic covers. You can clearly see the engine, you can see the ignition coils, you got your turbocharger right underneath this heat shield, my zonks, obviously the hood prop rod, and then of course I would like to see the 2-liter, which you can get the 2-liter, but I really want to focus because I think price-wise, this 1.5-liter turbocharged engine sport trim really hits the nail on the head for a lot of people. Why don't we go ahead, fire this up, and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside the 2019 San Marino Red Honda Accord. I know you're probably wondering, Joe, you've been talking about this being value priced. What is the price of this car? This one, the way it sits, is an almost dead even MSRP of $27,000. This is what I'm talking about. I really feel like this is a great value for what you're getting. Let's see, what are you getting? To the door panels. Now, I normally don't like a lot of dark material on the door panel, but you know what? Honda did a great job with the materials being used. You have the nice soft leather style material on the door, that light gray contrast stitching, and I really like that silver trim. And I'm not gonna call it faux carbon fiber because it's not meant to look like carbon fiber, but it's a pretty cool design on the door just to kind of give a little bit more flavor. Here's more of that design I was telling you about. Trust me, if you know what carbon fiber looks like, you would know they're not trying to make it look like carbon fiber, because that looks nothing like carbon fiber. Nice soft materials. You get a great size infotainment system. When you go, the graphics are really clear, very nice volume knob, tune knob, and all the other things that you need. You could swipe with it, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is really wonderful. And you can see just how clear the graphics are. Now, as we come down, you have dual climate control, easily adjusted. I like the vents and everything. A cover. I love these covers. I like the way this is gray instead of gloss black. Open her up. Nice deep area. You got USB. You got 12 volt. And as we come back, we have our nice size cup holders. Now, I know a lot of you want to see key fobs. Here is your Honda key fob. This is what you pretty much get on any Honda product, and they're a very great looking key fob. It's very to the point, but it looks nice and it has a nice weight to it. This is going to be controlling that CVT transmission. If you don't want a CVT, get a manual. It's a great manual transmission. I'm going to close that lid because I like to see finished. You do have different modes, sport and econ, and I'll show you more about that when you come over to my side. You got your electric e-brake. I like the silver trim. Nice wide armrest. Not the softest, but it does have a lot of real estate. Open her up. You get a nice little tray here for some pretzels, maybe a little Planters peanuts or something like that. You got a 12 volt and plenty of room in here. Seats. Now the seats are comfortable. I'm not in love with them. I don't like this cloth material. It feels almost like a tablecloth, like from a restaurant, a high-end restaurant, but it feels like a tablecloth. But I do love the leather, that gray contrast stitching. And as you can see, I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of headroom in here. But why don't you come over to the business end and I'll show you behind the wheel, because I'm telling you, I like what's going on over here. All right, guys, business end, behind the wheel of the 2019 Accord Sport. First off, you get great electric ability out of these seats. Get it to form the perfect fit on your body. Steering wheel. Honda's doing a great job with the wheels. I actually really like holding on to this. It's got the perfect thickness. I like the crisscross stitch pattern. Attractive horn button, a little bit of silver trim, and this is my favorite. I love the thumb wheel drives on these steering wheels on certain Honda products. Nicely done, looks simple, but clean. You get silver paddles. They are plastic on the back of the steering wheel. I know some of you are probably saying, well, CVT doesn't have gears. They're simulated gears, but I love the dash. Dash, you're getting an analog speedometer, but you're getting that digital tachometer. And watch this, when you go into different modes. So here we are, sport is off. It changed the tach. Sport's on. Now we're ready to rock and roll. You got a boost gauge. You see your red line at 6,500 RPM. It also has eco mode if you want to, you know, hug a tree as you're driving, you could do that by being in your eco mode. And then you could scroll through a plethora of different readings right there. But I'm telling you, the drive position's great. Even the pedals, they thought this through. It wasn't like they just stuck sport on it. You get a great sized dead pedal, brake pedal, and gas pedal, all with the brushed aluminum finish on it. Really, really nice. Why don't we go ahead, check out the back seats and see how comfortable your passengers are gonna be in this sport. All right, guys, backseat time in this mid-size sedan. You know, you compare this to the Camry, you compare this to other cars in the segment, you really get a lot of room back here, and it's very, very comfortable. Now, at this price level, you just have a cubby here. There's no rear AC, there's no connectivity. I would like to see at least a 12 volt. So can I do like, I'm gonna do like a half zonk, just a 12 volt to charge something back here. But I'm telling you, these seats are comfortable. I got plenty of leg room, and I really just like the overall fit and finish back here, especially when it comes to the edges. We're on these edges, they take the leather all the way to the edge. That just makes it a little bit more comfortable. When you put this sucker down, look at this. This is how all armrests should be in a car. Lots of room for your elbows, cup holders up here. Very, very comfortable. But why don't we go ahead and see how usable this is as your regular vehicle with that trunk space. All right, guys, time to check out what kind of stuff can we put in the trunk. Can you replace this and not get an SUV? Let's see. Open it up, lots of room. I'm very impressed with how wide the opening is. And you can see those seats are gonna do a 60-40 split. I'm not the biggest fan of SUVs, like to own one personally. I'd rather go this route. You're gonna get plenty of room. Plus, I'm telling you, driving one of these new Accords, they drive so well. And I really do like the San Marino red on this one. But if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and take this Honda Accord Sport for a spin. All right, guys, we're leaving Tampa Honda. We're in the 2019 Honda Accord Sport, 1.5 liter turbo on throttle. Like I said, 0 to 60 in about 7.2 seconds. The CVT, you know, it's not my favorite of transmissions. You know that. I've definitely voiced my concerns, but for some reason I feel like the CVT in a Honda product, especially this one, doesn't feel as noisy and buzzy as some other brands of CVTs that we've been in. So that is the one, I think, good point about it. My favorite thing about this car is just how the car feels when you're driving it. The way that it handles, you really have a nice connection to the front wheels. They did a great job on the weight of the steering, and like I boasted about before, the size of the steering wheel is just spot on perfect. It's really a driving steering wheel. Somebody who likes to drive would want a steering wheel like this. Easy line of sight out the windshield, out the back window's great, side windows perfect, the side mirrors are wonderful, and just very smooth and quiet in here. That's another nice thing about these Accords, is that, you know, over the years they've really been such a go-to for so many people with that mid-size sedan. But even more so, as we're losing certain mid-size sedans from the market, there's a reason why they continue to make Honda Accords. And I think you know, the proof is in the eating of the pudding that they sell. All right, guys, on throttle. Normally in a lot of other CVTs there'd be a lot more engine noise and you really wouldn't be going anywhere. I'm not getting that as much in this Accord, and I like that. That's a good thing. If you want to go through the simulated shifts, you can use the paddles on the back of the wheel, but the car is just very smooth driving, and really is a no-brainer in these traffic situations. It's going to have the braking assist for you for emergency braking. It's got the lane keep assist, and all those other great safety features that really are becoming almost mandatory in all new cars. All right, guys, this is actually a really good road. I'm glad that we went down. They're resurfacing the asphalt, and you can see it's all torn up. And even when it's all torn up, the road noise isn't anything too terrible, considering how torn up that road was. But this thing is very, very smooth. Back on throttle. It almost does not feel like a turbocharged car. The boost comes in very nice and low, very effortless. and it just builds boost all the way through the RPM range. I love the instrumentation layout, very clean, very crisp. Like I said, I do have it in sport mode. You can put it in eco mode. The infotainment system, real easy to get to, and I'm glad that it's got both knobs to it. I think that's gonna make a lot of people happy, to where they could adjust their volume, go through and tune or scroll through different things. Plus you got all your swipe features, which is really nice. Another thing, compared to the Camry, this one has both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is very wonderful. Back on throttle, let me go ahead and play around with the manual paddles here. So right now you just go through, I'm hitting down them in third, second, simulated second, on throttle. The simulated gears, they're quick, but they're not real. So it is an option, and I think for some people, they like to have the option to be able to go through real gears or fake gears like that's in this car. Just gives you more options, I guess. Personally, I would probably just leave it in automatic mode if that's the route you're getting. If you really want to have that kind of connectivity to your car, you need to get the 6-speed manual. The 6-speed manual in the Accord is glorious. I love it, and I highly recommend it. All right, guys, I want to, since we're in the Sport especially, I want to show off some of the handling here on the brakes. Even with the road kind of ripped up a little bit, great feedback. We're going to slow down for this speed hump here. But the wonderful thing is that even though this is the Sport, the suspension does not beat you up, which is nice. Look at this, watch this. Really great feedback coming from the front. Got to slow down for another speed bump. But it takes the speed bump very nicely, back on throttle. Here comes a nice transition left to right. Really feels good. The feedback from the front end is probably one of my favorite things about this car. And even with the 1.5 liter turbocharged engine, yeah, would it be more fun to have the 2 liter? Of course. But you're still getting plenty of power, and the price, MSRP at $27,000, I think there's a lot of car for the money, and definitely a hot competitor to the Camry. But we're gonna go ahead and get back to Tampa Honda and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another amazing day here at Tampa Honda. This Honda Accord really shows that Toyota has competition with that Camry. It's wonderful to see Honda give you the Sport, but you have different ways that you could go so that you could get in at a great price. And I think that they really hit the nail on the head with this Accord Sport with the 1.5 liter turbo. But if these are the types of cars that you like to see on Ready's Rise, definitely leave a comment in the comment section. I gotta give a huge shout out and a thank you to not only a subscriber, but also a friend, Christian, here at Tampa Honda, so accommodating. Definitely give him a call if you are looking for a Honda. He will take care of you, I promise you that. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Ready's Rise family. If you wanna help us keep making this great content just for you on Ready's Rise, click the link in the description, get yourself some Ready's Rise merch. Got to give it up to Big Guns McGee, Tom Moschner. We've driven all across Central Florida today, and Tom has been a trooper. He brought extra food. He's got the protein. He's even been lifting some weights here in the parking lot. So thank you, Tom, for all your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.